Good morning, John.
Good morning, Stephen.
All right. We are live today on Facebook and on YouTube and on LinkedIn. And to everyone on LinkedIn who was actually watching the show on replay, thank you. We've seen some good views over recent weeks. Amazingly, John, people are actually watching the Blabbing for Britain replay on LinkedIn of all places.
I'm definitely on LinkedIn, but definitely don't do anything on LinkedIn.
Well, I do the videos on LinkedIn and the occasional post, and of course support Angelica on there. And yeah, so we're 10 seconds away. Good morning, Royston Radio. This week the episode is on Royston at 11 o'clock on Saturday. All things being equal, we should arrive there. And take that off and say, if I get this right, morning, John.
Good morning, Stephen. So our red patch is running late today.
Yeah. If you're listening on Royston Radio, John doesn't have his background with today. He's switched it off. Oh, that's good. Okay. You've got little 2 notes in the background.
Yeah. One's a note of some passwords on my recently acquired Linux server, and the other one's a bill, a car repair bill. And it's not even for my car, it's my daughter's car. Well, that's what children are for, isn't it? To spend your money.
That's true. Right. Okay. HS2, John. HS2.
I just wish they'd cancelled the southern section as well before it even started. Because if you saw the destruction around our area, I mean, not immediately, but within 5 miles, it's sickening. Chelmsley Wood has a bit of a reputation, but these days it's pretty much cleaned up and pretty much a nice area. And there's the motorway, the M6, and then the other side of the M6 and to the south of Chelmsley Wood, they've carved this massive pile of rubbish all the way through. And they went through a local amenity known as Bluebell Wood. And there's just a few trees either side of Bluebell Wood now, either side of a massive cutting. And to be honest with you, everybody I talk to says, yeah, okay, so we're getting a new station in Solihull, and they're going to build 1,000 houses around this new station. We'd rather have we've been very happy to just have the houses and not have the railway at all, because most people, the travel to London from here is not that massive, really.
It's going to be faster, isn't it?
20 minutes. Wow, what a big whoopee deal.
If you're commuting, then and you're living in Birmingham and working in London, then it does make a difference. The other thing that occurred to me this morning, I don't know how true this is that, of course, these rail lines will carry freight as well, won't they?
I believe so, but, it's... freight's not what it was because on railways, because it doesn't have the convenience of a lorry being able to go here, there, and everywhere on its journey.
Yeah. So you're happy that he's actually scrapped it?
Yeah, really. I don't think there is that many people that go to Manchester. There are lots of people that might travel to Scotland and further north, but there's not that much daily traffic of people going up and down from Birmingham to Manchester. And yes, okay, we've got this make the North a powerhouse. What a load of rubbish. It'd be better off spending money linking all of the northern cities together to make them the North a powerhouse than putting a fast train from Birmingham to Manchester.
Yeah, but I think
People are celebrating round our area, in the
right,
north, in the North Midlands. They're not that disappointed, and many
right,
people are very happy with the decision.
yeah.
Provided
I
he puts the 32 billion into the area that he says he's going to do.
If he does, and that's not now. That's 10 years away at least. So he's spending tomorrow's money and making promises for tomorrow. And
Well, I mean, it's a conservative, isn't he? One Conservative promised us an extra £300 million a week. Yeah, if we left for the NHS,
Right.
if we left
No,
Europe, huh? Has it happened? Has it?
no, it won't. It won't. We're getting used to being lied to, and we can't trust the politicians. And yeah, I know you don't want the Labour Prime Minister, sorry, the Labour leader to become Prime Minister. Misspoke there.
Well, sometimes I think he might be better than some of the idiots we've had recently. But I don't believe in his politics. So
I don't think that Rishi Sunak should be able to wield such power at all. Okay. Right. Okay. I've got a question for you. What's this? I'll put it near to the camera.
it's an item that's illegal to take into school. It's a conker.
It's a conker. Yes. I mean, you can take I just on my walks. I've got another one here. That one fell on the floor. On my walks, I collect them. I don't know why. Probably something in my youth, or when I was younger than a youth. Remember playing conkers and soaking them in vinegar. Not that you're supposed to soak them in vinegar. Anyway,
Ripping a hole in, getting your shoelace.
yeah,
But it's
yeah,
dangerous now. It
yeah,
might explode and hit someone in the eye.
we don't do it anymore, do we? Anyway, welcome to the show, and this is Blabbing for Britain, episode 392. Another 8 weeks, and we'll be at 400. Yeah. Okay. And as I say, welcome to Roystone Radio as well. So HS2 is gone. Okay. Smoking.
Worst thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
My wife did. My wife promised me she would give them up when they got to 50 pence a packet.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are they? About £11 or something ridiculous a packet. She doesn't smoke cigarettes, but she does have what she calls her dummy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, vape.
Call it the dummy.
Vapes have helped an amazing number of people actually stop smoking, and it is a viable alternative to smoking because you're getting the hit, and it is safer. How safe we don't know yet, but it's certainly safer than smoking, and it doesn't have as much effect on your health. So I think I definitely agree that we should, but this is the problem. The problem he's got is that the Conservatives say laissez-faire, leave alone, don't interrupt, don't tell people what to do. And yet this is definitely telling people what to do or what not to do. And the only thing that will happen if you can't buy cigarettes legally is that you buy cigarettes illegally.
It's quite interesting because we were out and about yesterday because we had yet another visit number 5 for radiation treatment. We actually don't see that many younger people smoking in this day and age compared to when we were younger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you go around, it's all older people holding.
Right. Yeah.
You don't see youngsters smoking very much at all there now. And it's
That's
only
good.
when you consciously go out and look, you realise that that is true. I
Yeah.
mean, we have to go through the university to get to Birmingham University, the posh one, to get to the radiation unit, because although it's at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, it's not in the beautiful, great big architecture thing. You see, it's tucked round the back, in sort of, and you have to go physically through there. So you see hundreds and hundreds of students. Wouldn't see anybody smoking, not one.
That's good.
Because we were looking because of the announcements that have been made.
Yeah.
Not one person was smoking. So I'm all for what he wants to do, but I think you should be even more drastic. But that's because I've never
We,
smoked. I don't
we
vape,
couldn't.
so I don't have a hole in my pocket from paying for vape juices and vaping machines or cigarettes.
Well, vaping is not as expensive as cigarettes. No, it's a different level entirely. So you're probably talking about a tenner a week, as opposed to £11 a packet. So it's totally different economics to it.
I think, and Celia's been vaping for quite a while now, but prior to that, she would smoke 10 or 12 cigarettes a day.
Yeah. Switching is good. Switching is the most positive thing you can do.
No,
Because
not starting is the most positive thing you can do.
yeah, but that's a question of where you were in the 60s and 70s, and your peer influences at the time.
I have 3 children, yeah, in their 30s. None of them has ever smoked, but Phil, the middle one, does like to vape every now and again.
Yeah. My 2 sons don't smoke either, and just wouldn't entertain it. Probably because Dad smoked, which is good. So I act as a deterrent. Okay.
And you are influenced by your parents. You
Oh yeah.
quite often are negative to what your parents do, because my dad liked to pint down the pub 5, 6 nights a week. I don't go to the pub at all. Yeah. And I never have, really.
Well,
Because
things.
it used to drive me mad that he spent his money on beer and fax.
Yeah. Things have changed. I mean, over the years, we've had legislation about drink and drive that had a major effect on people going out, and led to basically fewer and fewer pubs. Yeah. So, okay, right. What else is going on?
More and more food in pubs today. You
Yeah.
can get an amazing selection of food in pubs now. We went to a farmhouse pub on Celia's birthday. I couldn't get over the fact that this thing is in the middle of an industrial estate with not a house anywhere near it. And in every direction you looked, there were either warehouses or offices. And yet there's this highly successful pub just right there. And people come from all over the place to visit this pub. I'd never been there before and didn't even know it was there until my daughter persuaded us to go there. It's the Rootin' Tootin' Butter Coffee Man.
Morning, Peter.
Can't hear you.
Nope.
Hello.
That's better.
At last.
I've just come off of Teams, and when you change from one to the other, it's a nightmare. Anyway, I'm here. Just
now, before we get into anything deep, you need to tell all of your Facebook fans and me, I don't know whether Stephen knows the answer to this question either, what the beeping hell is a butter coffee?
Right. So on a keto low carb diet, people go on fasts where they don't eat for a while, right? And if you're not eating, your body burns the fat, okay? But to stop you getting hungry, right, you have a coffee and you put butter in it or cream, right? And it's quite nice. And it takes away the bitterness. And some people, I don't know if you know this, put a bit of salt in their coffee too to take that bitterness away from it. And that's part of people that really eat keto. That's what they do to stop them eating. Because I don't eat till about 2 in the afternoon now, right? And at that point, you feel I feel hungry, right? But some people go on 8-hour fasts, even more, right? And it's their way of the body burning, and then they eat what they eat. So that is why a lot of people take butter in their milk.
Just so Stephen knows, loads of people get asking on Facebook what the beeping heck is a butter coffee, because he's having a butter coffee in the morning.
And I never done it. I have my coffee without anything in it, you see. But I'll tell you what I've just found, and I'm really excited about it. Asda are now selling Lavazza. A lot of the companies now, there's a big fight on when Nespresso and Dolce Gusto, I think that's how you pronounce it. And every shop I go to Lidl's and they don't sell Dolce Gusto, but they sell a lot of Nespresso. Then I go down to Asda and they sell, well, they've got this Lavazza, and then I've got other ones. And then after Russia, we got a new big Iceland store. It's not called Iceland, but belongs to Iceland. It's like a big store. And they're the only one in Aberdeen that sells Costa coffee pods Americano. Only. Straight Americano. And every time I go in, I get a 3 for a tenner, and I take them all.
Yeah, this is the food warehouse, isn't it? Because we've got one in.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say it's in Birmingham, but yeah, it's not in Birmingham Centre. It's South Birmingham.
Now, guess what was holding me up today?
You said you were in a meeting.
Yeah, with my bookkeeper, my new bookkeeper. And we've changed. I just got her to get the VAT sorted out so she could do it online, and it was a nightmare changing over. Because I don't know if you know the difference. There's a cash accounting scheme. Did you know about that?
It's all I've ever done.
And there's account, because just to let the people know if they're ever starting business in Royston Radio, if someone pays you money with the VAT and you're in the cash accounting scheme, you only pay the VAT if they have paid you. But if you're not in that accounting scheme, I've forgotten the name of it, if they pay you VAT and they never pay you, you still pay the VAT on that invoice. And so if you're starting out, make sure you get into the cash accounting scheme and hold on to your money, because it could affect your cash flow.
Yeah, you don't want to be paying tax over that you've not received.
And it's also went quarterly. Did you know that, Stephen?
No, I'm not registered.
Oh, you're not ready. It's went quarterly now. You have to do it quarterly rather than yearly.
Yeah.
It's been quarterly forever if you've been in the cash accounting scheme.
Oh, wait a minute. No, quarterly. I was thinking about the tax. Aye,
You're talking about income tax, and income tax from next year is going quarterly.
Quarterly. So that's going to be fun. So that's not on account anymore then?
I don't know the answer to that question.
So to the listeners and viewers that don't know the difference, is basically self-employed people anyway they pay the tax in advance on like a guesstimate. But if you don't make that money, you can claim it back. But it's a year, and you might have needed that money.
Yeah, so basically, what you paid in year one, you pay 50% of at the start of year two. But it's not really like that because it's all 12 months behind.
Yeah. And never, ever, ever think, I've said, oh, you get your first year free. The tax man will never give you anything free if he can help it. But have you heard that before, guys? You get your first year free.
No, because I went into it with my eyes open. Because don't believe this fallacy that just because you don't have to pay 12 months after the end of the year, that you're getting a year free, because it will catch up with you at the end when you pack it in.
And I've got to say, if they owe you money, I'd more or less get it the next day. Because what you can do, folks, is, and Stephen's an accountant, if you've had a tremendously good year and you pay the tax, they expect you to pay the same amount of tax next year, but you could actually go in and say, there's no way I'm making that because we had an exceptional order, and you can change it. Did you know that one, John?
Yeah, but mine is never particularly high anyway. So,
well,
I've never had any ambitions of a great big firm or employee or anything like that.
I am absolutely shocked at what I have taken in this quarter. I won't say it on here because people will send me begging letters and everything. I just can't believe it. Neither can my mentor.
Okay, now there's a problem in Paris, Peter. I would value your view on it. Yeah, indeed.
Yes.
It's endemic, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. I wish I could get at as much up here.
You don't want people of Aberdeen to have bet. What you wish for? Yeah, I mean, but do you know any idea how it's sort of grown so much?
Let me tell you how it all began. Where do I begin? Well, we'll begin at the Berlin Wall, right? And this is true. So, as you know, I served at the Berlin Wall, and I thought I would never see that Berlin Wall come down. But when the wall came down and the rest of the walls come down, and East met West, there were two different standards of living.
Yeah.
Now, when people, and it started in Britain, when the migration started to happen many, many years ago, not the migration we've got now, but people were more free to get about, right? Then bedbugs started, and they started in Kent in this country, and there was some camps there, and it spread throughout the world. So where the West couldn't visit the East before, really, in big, everything opened up. People would go to different hotels, and that's how they travel about. And they're spread by transport, etc. So we had different standards in the West, and it was different in the East.
Yeah.
And that is what I've seen happen. In my first 10 years in my business up here, first 10 years as a pest control man, I never had a live bed bug job.
Right.
But now I've made up for it.
Right. So where the heck do they come from?
Well, they're travellers. So here's a couple of tips. I've done it. When you go into a hotel, check behind the headboard because that's where they'll live. And then they will make sure that you shut your suitcase. In fact, seal your suitcase in a black bag. Okay? Because that's what they crawl into, the cracks and crevices. Now, a bed bug needs your blood to live. So when you go to your bed at night, they come out. And they could go dormant for up to a year.
Wow.
And then they crawl onto you. And I've seen that happen. And a lady that lived in a big house, it was a friend of mine actually, and her son had come over from Australia, and they've got it really bad over there. And the room he was in, it took a year because she went in and put a heating on and the bed bugs come out. So heat can get them going. Your breath brings them out. And then what they do is they come onto you and they inject you with an anaesthetic. And when you're sleeping, they're sucking your blood. And that's why you see blood spots in the sheets, because your blood spots out when they come out.
Okay, and before I ask you how you to get rid of them, they were on the metro as well.
Yeah. I mean, we've had it in the underground, but I'll tell you, in the metro, usually I get them in hotels and houses. Not so much hotels now, because they're houses. I get them in rental properties in my area. Rental properties is usually the one, and it's maybe people have moved in from somewhere, right? And basically, I mean, I'll tell you one funny story, and then maybe we'll move on. My first encounter, a woman phoned up and she says, we've got bed bugs. We rent a house for our employees. And I went, yeah. Because everybody before that had been a wood louse, right? And I'm, yeah. Okay, I'll come down and see. And I was so excited. This is an actual bed bug. I'm so excited about this. First one in Aberdeen for. And she says, you're joking. I says, no. So what happened? Now, a chap had been living in a smaller bedroom. And a guy was leaving the big bedroom. So he said, I will take the bigger bedroom now. So he took a big bedroom, and a new guy went into the small bedroom. And when the guy came out from the small bedroom in the morning, he said, hey, he says, I'm covered in bites. And the guy said, oh yeah, that'll be the bed bugs. He says, what do you mean that'll be the bed bugs? Oh yeah, there's bed bugs in there. He says, how long have you known about this? He says, a year.
God.
And he'd come from a...
Yeah.
It looks as if the bed bugs have bitten him and he's frozen.
Has Peter? Well, Peter can still hear us, hopefully, but yeah, you've frozen. The most important part of your story. Well, the next bit of the story was how do you get rid of them. So hopefully Peter will disappear and come back in a second. Yeah, I mean, it's just, somewhere like Paris should actually be in the middle of an epidemic. In this day and age, does sound weird, but as Peter says, they're great travelers and can sleep for a year before they wake up. But unfortunately, I mean, you don't expect it at this juncture. Okay, so Peter will be back in a moment. I'm going to remove him and he'll be back in a second. Okay. Right, okay, let's go back to Rishi Sunak because he's always a good standby at the moment. The third thing that he announced yesterday was that British Standard thingy, where T levels and A levels would be combined and that students would have to take 5 subjects, including English and maths. It was a baccalaureate, but it wasn't called that. It was called the British Standard. But again, are we tinkering with something that's not broken?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah,
I don't understand the need for it. And the thing is, it confuses employers because now we're having to look, employers, not me because I'm not an employer, but they're having to look at multiple different things that people turn up with when they want to apply for a job. How does Fred know that that is equivalent to that? You know, it's just crazy. Leave things alone.
But again, this is not going to take place until the 1930s, and he certainly won't be Prime Minister then. So he's announced these are all personal initiatives. This is Rishi reinventing himself as a go-getter, and he's announcing things that are not going to happen for years. which is just weird. The other thing is that he seems to have taken personal charge of everything. Okay. I seem to remember that most prime ministers actually took the cabinet with them, and at least it was a cabinet decision. And there's a video surfaced. I don't know if you've seen it, which was recorded on Saturday, and it was recorded in 10 Downing Street, and it was Rishi Sunak saying that he was cancelling HS2 and why. And then he spent the next 3 days actually sort of stonewalling everybody to announce the decision yesterday. And then he said it was made at the conference. Yeah, I don't believe anything these days. Hopefully Peter will come back, because he was getting into the nitty-gritty of his story. Okay, where to go now? Yeah. Okay.
You can talk about your home team winning, if you like, beating poor old Luton Town.
Oh, well, it was long overdue. The quality is starting to show through. Say hello to everybody watching. If you don't know, I'm from Burnley, and Burnley are a Premiership club, and they were in the bottom position in the Premiership, but they're not any longer because they beat Luton at Luton. Yeah, and it was well deserved. I mean, they're not doing this. They're not. In the Dyke days, they would have scraped a victory, but these were 2 stunning goals to actually take the 3 points. They are playing. Well, they're playing exciting football, and hopefully this is one of many wins this year. The only thing that Clarence fans want this year is for Burnley to stay in the Premiership and just to get a toehold, stay there, and be there for the next season. Yeah, over to Aston Villa.
Well, they're doing all right. Can't complain at all. 5th is a good spot for us. Lots of people saying we'll finish top 4. I shall be very satisfied if we finish in the top 6, 7. Yeah. The other Claret and Blue team, of course, is West Ham, and they struggled like hell last year, but they're not this year. They're doing very well. Not quite as well as the Villa, but still doing very well.
Well, they're in the top half, aren't they?
Yep.
Which is good.
And interestingly, of course, the other 2 Claret and Blues, that's Villa and West Ham, are in Europe for the first time for Villa and for the second time for West Ham. So we've got extra matches to play.
Yeah. And of course, Newcastle won 4-1 the other night.
Yeah.
In Europe. Yeah. Anyway, World Cup.
They're a fashionable team at the moment, but they're not doing quite as well as in the league as they did last year, are they?
No.
They got second year reality, I think, or second season reality.
World Cup, as the venues have been announced for 2032. I think 6 different countries. I've got to dig the details out on this because it's just incredible to me. I'm actually celebrating something. So World Cup 2032. 2030, is that?
I don't know.
All right, I found it. It intrigued me. It's going to be held. It's going to be a 48-team tournament, and they're in Europe. They're going to be in Morocco, Portugal, Spain, Uruguay, Argentina, and Paraguay.
Oh, so they're right next door to each other, eh?
Yeah. But it's obviously to actually celebrate. What are they celebrating, John? I don't know. 2030.
Who knows?
Yeah, to be held in 6 different countries. How's that going to work? Yeah, I mean, hopefully, if you're one of the 48 teams, you'll be told where you play your group stages, and you don't have to fly from Uruguay to Spain, and from Spain over to. I mean, obviously they're going to organise this properly, but it just seemed really complicated. Yeah.
And European 2028, yeah, that's going to be here now.
Yeah, that's because somebody pulled out, didn't they?
We're an island because the other people pulled out.
Yeah.
We're the only people looking to can't think of the correct word now. Anyway, the Turkish guys pulled out, didn't they? So they're bidding strongly now for 2032 instead.
Right. Now, I just want to show a card because I spent weeks making this card. On Monday, well, in fact, on Sunday at Stonehenge, I celebrated 1,000 miles this year, and that's walking, jogging, and occasionally running. And it is still early October, and I've done 1,000 miles this year, so I'm quite chuffed. Angelica's done it 8 times on the trot, and it just feels, well, totally amazing. I didn't think I'd do it, especially considering what happened on July 29th. But incredibly, I've done 150 miles since July. So I'm just glad my recovery is good. So that's it, 1,000 miles. And I get a medal. Which I'm waiting for. It's not the medal I've done it for, it's basically because I just enjoy walking. So that's
doing your 8 o'clock walk every day now?
Yep. Well, yeah, that was totally true when I wrote the post. I do go. I do go for 8 o'clock. I'm out the door and I walk 3.5 miles, listening to music and just sorting out my day, and that works very well. Except I was out walking on Tuesday, and I just literally pulled up a muscle in my calf, decided that it didn't want to play anymore. I was a mile from home. I had to get back home, which I did, not at any great pace, but I actually got back home. And then it seemed to ease. So I thought, okay, it's just going to recover on its own. And then the day after, I was hobbling about yesterday. When I went for my COVID injection, I hobbled into town, hobbled back again. I thought, this is no good. And fortuitously, I was scrolling Facebook, and I follow the running groups, and somebody said, I've got a sprain. What should I use? And the lady said, Tiger Balm. So I said to Angelica, do we have any Tiger Balm? And Angelica, of course, said, yes, of course we have. And I put Tiger Balm on last night. I think, well, I know it's a lot better than it was yesterday. Tiger Balm is magical stuff. It just works. I mean, you don't question it. You just put it on and you feel better. So my brain stroke strain is a lot better. And I will be back to my 3 miles a week from next week. This weekend, of course, is Park Run. And I've offered my services as marshal because I don't feel up to walking or jogging. So I'm going to be a marshal. Oh, and in big news, okay, you know Angelica's doing the London Marathon next year, 2024.
Yeah.
And today was her first genuine 10K. She went out at 7 o'clock this morning, rather her than me, and actually did the 10K. And she's doing something called jeffing. Yeah. Do you know what jeffing is? You will do. No. Right, okay, jeffing is after the guy who named it. His name is Jeff, by the way. And basically, it's a technique for running distances consistently without having to steam off and run like hell. What you actually do is you've got an interval timer on your mobile phone, and it tells you every 30 seconds. And for 30 seconds you run, and then 30 seconds you walk, and you repeat that over and over. So you're never running for more than 30 seconds. The net result of which is that because your body knows you're only running for 30 seconds, you run faster. And because you're walking after you've just run, you walk faster, and it just works. And Angelica went out this morning to do a 10K, and she averaged 15 minutes a mile. And when you think average walking pace is over 20 minutes a mile, that's shifting. And one of the miles was 13 minutes. So she's on her way. All I'm going to say is, as far as I can see, Angelica's training is going well, and that bodes well for the marathon next year. Yeah, I'm just amazed. Totally amazed. And in awe, I've got to be honest, John. I'm in awe. Yeah, the thought of actually running a 10K. Yeah, because we've got the Devisers 10K, and Angelica was talked twice about taking part. Well, she could have done. Now we know she could have done. So she may. Well, I don't know. She's got her own training plan. She's doing her own thing. And I just help when I'm asked. Yeah. So, all good. In talking of which, photograph of the week is this one. And
Yeah,
it
all the dahlias.
That's right. I mean, basically, this is from this was taken at the weekend by a member of English Heritage staff, and there was a magnificent display of dahlias. And apparently, 170, 80 years ago, this used to be a thing that people didn't go to Stonehenge to see the stones; they went to Stonehenge to see the dahlias. Yeah, and this is the first year they brought it back, and it was only because obviously there's dahlias have a life, and so they just did it for 3 days. They did it on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we were fortunate to be there on the Sunday. And this is quite probably one of the best photographs we've had taken ever. So good. So I'm gonna take that off.
The first year where I've only grown a few dahlias. Normally I grow quite a lot of dahlias. But as you say, once they're picked, they don't last long at all. And that's because they're a bit like a cucumber. They're mainly water.
Yeah, but I mean the colours. I mean, it's just a beautiful array of colours. Now you can't see this on Eastern Radio, but it is just a beautiful array of colours. There are yellows and purples and oranges and all colours of the rainbow. Okay, I'm just wondering where Pete's gone. I wonder if he's lost internet. Oh, never mind. Okay, going with the news again. I'm just trying to find something. Yeah, it's quite quiet because Parliament's not sitting. The Labour Party conference is next week. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. Hopefully it will be more. Oh, I can't let this pass. Liz Truss.
Who? Oh, you mean the failed Prime Minister?
Liz Truss was Prime Minister for 44/45 days, and she was in Manchester this week. Remember that this was taking place in an old railway shed, which is more than ironic, given that HS2 was cancelled. And there were the main hall with about 600 people in, and then there were side rooms where there were speakers. And one of the speakers was Liz Truss, and her event was absolutely packed out. The main hall was quiet, but her event was packed out. And apparently she's still the darling of the right, and they want her back. It's like, you know, just suspend belief. It just doesn't, you know, I mean, she failed. Yeah, just she should just go away, write her memoirs, and go on the speaking tour. But she shouldn't be speaking at main party events. That's just my 2 cents. It just seems totally out of whack. that she should be doing all that and being heard and listened to more attentively than some of the other speakers. We have a panic, don't panic, don't panic. We're going to find out.
It's special agent Stephen on his
Well,
phone.
Peter,
What a nightmare! I think my story was too much for the internet.
it was a brilliant story, and we learned a lot.
Lots of stories. I'm available for speaking gigs. I've lost my internet.
I thought, all right, that's what I'd surmised. So
It's
you're
the
on. Yeah. Any
Yeah.
reason why? Any,
No, I went into the house and the lights are on in the box. I'll have to check it after. I'm too busy. Anyway, so and then when I found the phone, made it was charged, and I'm gonna wait to change my password for Bluetooth for tethering because the password went on for ages. So I'm gonna make it quite easy. So there you go. Get some back.
Yeah.
Reason I bought the phone.
That's it, yeah.
Just to complete this section, how do you eradicate bed bugs?
Well, there's two ways to do it now. You can get heat treatments that would heat the place up, and but even then, I believe there's no guarantees. But because if there's an air pocket, they're hiding in that. So what we do is do a two-step process. We use a thing called an insect. First of all, we steam the bed, those eggs, and then we spray the area with a thing called an IGR, which is an insect growth regulator, which the forms in so they can't reproduce. We then spray the area. Now there's a new product out where it lasts 6 to 12 months, and it's a lacquer, and it coats the eggs and things. So we've got that, and we've also got stuff called, we call it it's OAK21. It's actually made from eggshells, right? Well, crushed shells, really. It's organic. In fact, I've got a job with it tomorrow. I asked for it. And what we do is we spray that, and that cuts the insect's cuticles. And I believe it can kill the eggs as well, I've read. So, and then we go back with a different insecticide. People think it's gone tomorrow morning when you spray. Absolutely not.
No. Takes time.
Yeah, it takes time. It's just as how I try to explain it to clients. I say, when you go to the doctor and they give you a bottle of penicillin, they don't say drink it all in one go. They say build it up into your system.
Yeah.
And I say to people, when we spray, you'll see a lot of dead insects and dying insects. So don't panic. They phone up the next day and say, you made it worse. I see a lot of insects. I said, what did I tell you yesterday?
Right, it's got to get worse before it gets better.
I love bed bugs. I watched one day in a house, I sprayed, and I watched a bed bug. I sat in a seat and I watched a bed bug come out of the bottom, and it took 45 minutes to crawl, and it found the one and only crack at the top of the roof and in it.
Yeah. Nature. Survival.
Yeah. I love them.
Right, okay. That's bed bugs, and more information available from Aberkill in Aberdeen. And Peter, there you go.
Thanks for the promotion.
No worries. Okay. So, right, what's happening in Scotland, Peter? Because from our end, it seems quite quiet.
It's very, very quiet. There's been hints. Somebody says once certain chief constables have retired, then all hell may break loose. There's something building up in the background because it's went really, really quiet. Nobody said anything. The caravans, the camper van's still sitting in the compound. And Nicola and her husband have come out declaring their love for one another. Other people behind the scenes say otherwise. All these things are going on. It's been deadly quiet. Maybe they calm before the storm.
Could be.
But there's a by-election today.
Oh, okay.
In one of the areas in Scotland, and that will really tell everybody what's happening. If Labour are going to win, they might get a pumping majority, or if the SNP are going to win today. So all eyes are on Rutherglen. Be interesting. And of course, the SNP now is, well, very much split. The party is really, really split.
Yeah. So Rutherglen and Hamilton West.
It may be a low turnout, they say.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing about by-elections, isn't it? The impetus to actually go and vote isn't there.
Yeah.
Okay. We're due to have a general election, which could either be next May, October, or even the following year.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, John? When would you like the election to be?
Yesterday. How's that? I'm not bothered, yeah, because I don't think it will make a great deal of difference to my life whenever it takes place.
Okay. Yeah. Indeed. Okay, so we talked about conkers earlier. Peter, were you into conkers?
Into what, sorry?
Conkers.
A compass.
Conkers.
I'm showing it to you.
Oh, yeah.
The screen source. Oh, conkers. Yes. Not really. Not my sort of stuff.
Okay.
I did play it, but I didn't aim at the conkers. I was a cruel little kid. I aimed at their knuckles.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
And that's true as well.
Right. And whilst you were gone, I was saying about my sprain. I was saying the magic ointment I actually used to cure a sprain. And for the life of me, I've got to be honest here, and this is the problem I've got. I've forgotten the name. I mean, I talked about an hour ago. I can't. My mind says no. You don't know that. Tiger Balm. We were talking about Tiger Balm, magical effects of Tiger Balm. For a moment there, do you find that you sort of speaking, you're saying something, and the word's just not there? It's temporarily gone.
Yeah.
And you're looking for a synonym, and that's not there either. Yeah.
Ooh.
Trying to explain something, especially when you're actually broadcasting live and you just forget the word. It can be frustrating, is the word I'm looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not allowed to use Tiger Balm.
Why not?
Oh, you better look at it, because if you read the label, you'll see not to be used by diabetic. There's a lot of things, Stephen, you can't use now.
Right. Okay. Well,
you'll have to look at that.
It's too late. I've applied it twice and it's worked its magic. So
okay.
Yeah. I noticed that you put a device with a reading of 5.9 on it.
Yes.
On Facebook this week.
Yeah.
And nobody knew what the device was.
The device is a sugar reader. That's the one that tells me what my sugars are. 5.9 is brilliant, by the way.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I use to take my levels, or my sugar level. It's funny because the new way of doing it is 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, whatever. But this is the old fashioned way. It's it's like pounds and shillings and decimals.
Yeah. I'm on the old way as well.
Yeah. So basically, you should be between 4 and 7. Well, I should be B, 4 and 7, being a type 2.
Yeah, I've been told to be between 7 and 9 at the moment.
Okay. That's to stop you that's to stop you going into hypo.
Yeah, and into critical as well. Yeah. Now you must have started your keto again.
Yes, I
keto.
did. I was getting complacent, and I just thought no. And my troubles, I put on weight. My sugar level had went up, but I concentrate. I'll tell you what's hard. The men were working, and I phoned them up and I said, "Would you like a cup of tea and some sausage rolls?" And I had to walk into Greg's, buy 4 sausage rolls, and I nearly said, "And I will have one too," but I didn't. I says, "I'll have a black coffee, please."
Yeah.
It's hard. It's not easy.
Nope. You've got to change things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we've covered most things this week. Most things. I mean, there's nothing going on. So, right.
No.
Okay.
Was
The
there not
temperature.
was there not a Conservative conference?
Yeah.
What's your view of stopping the Manchester leg?
I think it's stupid. Having invested so much time, having got governments to actually work together, parties to work together over 15 years to have a consensus on why they're doing it. And John's got he's a practical side to this, but my side of it is basically it was improving, or would have improved, the infrastructure, and it would have made life a lot easier and more productive for many people.
Yeah, but for 20 minutes, I think it was doomed from failure to the start. And one of the things they put out there, they said, "How's the budget for it?" And everybody put in the budget. Over in France, I believe they don't tell the budget and say, "Give us a price to get it done." And wherever it was, they got it done and done on time. And I don't think it was, again, I believe it was London centric, right? For 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Wow. Is that all? When I do believe the people in the north have always been screaming for extra transport. What about doing something from Aberdeen down to somewhere else? You know? Because if they get it in the north, what are we getting up here? You know? Why are we would, in Aberdeen, we would love a dual carriageway all the way to Inverness and the A9 to Inverness. Why are we not getting that? That would have been better infrastructure, but that might involve the Scottish government, you know, with their money. But that's the problem. And I thought the HS2 was, I just thought for 20 minutes, I didn't feel it was worth it. If it had taken it by an hour to 2 hours, you know, super fast, that would have made a difference. But 20 minutes? All that money for 20 minutes?
That's kind of more or less what I said. And the destruction, because you haven't seen any of it, Peter, is just unbelievable.
And what about all these people that have been compulsory purchased up to now?
Yeah, well, there's a story on the news last night of a man that ended up having to sell his house. It wasn't compulsory purchased because he needed to raise some money to keep his business going.
Yeah.
And he couldn't raise any money because it was blighted, because it was going to pass within 40 metres of his house. But that wasn't close enough to be compulsory purchased. In the end, business went bust.
Yeah, I just think it was just to appease people. I think they've got to stop being London centric and start moving into the bigger cities. And I think we should abolish. I think we should abolish the Scottish government. I think it's been a waste of time. The building overrun of the Scottish Parliament.
Yeah, well, where's my English government? I can find a Welsh one. I can find a Northern Irish man. I can find a Scotland one.
Do you know there is a party that went England for England, you know? And I think that I personally believe that the Scottish government has caused nothing problems for me because, well, I'll give you instance in my industry. In England, you can get an air rifle, no problem, as a pest control. But I now have got to have a license to have an air rifle. Okay? Any Englishman, if somebody lives in...
I'm looking forward to what happens in Wales, because actually I live on a 20-mile-an-hour road. Yeah.
Right.
And two of the main roads that cross between the A45 and the A41, which are main routes out to the south and southeast of Birmingham, are 20 mile an hour. And I was tootling up one of those the night before last at 20 mile an hour. And some idiot went past me, nearly hit a parked car, rocketed on. He was doing a good 50 mile an hour in the 20 limit. And I caught him up turning onto his drive on a 20 mile an hour road.
Well, here's the thing. Have you ever tried doing 30 in a 30 speed limit and looking behind you and everybody getting frustrated because you're doing 30? And
well, I mean, that's 20 is quite common around here. Any road with a school on in Solihull is 20 mile an hour. Yeah,
I know.
And that's 20 mile an hour all day, not 20 mile an hour while the school's open.
Yeah. So as I say, it's hard enough doing the 30 mile an hour. And I put it on to, what do you call that? Cruise control now, set at 30. Third gear. And it's amazing the people that honk and hoot and give you bad looks because you're sitting at 30. And in fact, you should be less than 30. Just about 28, really.
I think it's time to go, Peter.
Yes, I know. I've seen that. I'm busy. I'll stay on.
We've run out of time. We've still got loads of things to say, but we can save those till next week. So it's goodbye from Scotland, goodbye from Wiltshire, and goodbye from the West Midlands. Bye.
Bye.